Have you ever thought that textures and patterns could actually be an animation style?
Hey y'all, come look at this.
Not just something decorative in the background, but the very thing that drives the storytelling. Most of us are used to animation that focuses on smooth movement, expressive characters, and detailed environment. We expect animation to feel cinematic and dynamic. But when I came across The Magic Tree by Gerald McDermott, I was honestly surprised. The animation looked nothing like the typical style we see today. Instead of polished 3D characters or fluid modern 2D animation, the screen was filled with bold geometric shapes, strong colors, and layered textures that almost looked like a piece of handcrafted artwork. At first, it felt very unusual.
Bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye. Do you understand?
But the more I watched, the more curious I became because it made me start asking a question. What if animation doesn't always have to rely on movement to tell a story? What if design itself becomes the storytelling? Hearing the magic tree is actually very simple. It follows a young boy who discovers a mysterious magic tree in his village. As he begins to interact with it, the tree reveals different moments of wonder and quiet lessons. These moments guide the boy through small discoveries that feel both magical and symbolic. But what makes the film interesting isn't really the complexity of the plot, it's the way the visual design carries the story forward. Instead of relying heavily on dialogue or dramatic action, the film communicates through bold shapes, rhythmic patterns, carefully arranged colors, textured environments. Every frame feels intentional. Sometimes it almost feels like you're watching a moving piece of art where each visual element plays a role in guiding your attention and shaping the mood of the scene. The environment itself becomes part of the storytelling, and that's what makes the animation feel so distinct. Watching the magic tree today can feel a little bit surprising.
Wetin be dis? Wetin be dis? Jesus.
Modern audiences are used to animation that prioritizes fluid character motion, cinematic camera work, and detailed world building. Animation technology has advanced so much that creators can build incredibly realistic environments and expressive characters. But this film takes a completely different path. Instead of focusing on complex motion, it focuses on visual composition and artistic symbolism. The movement is often simple and deliberate, but the design, texture, and pattern are what give the film its energy and personality. For many viewers today, especially those who grew up with modern digital animation, this approach can feel unfamiliar at first. But that unfamiliarity is also what makes it fascinating. It reminds us that animation has always been a space for experimentation and artistic exploration. If we look at many modern African animation projects today, we can see how the industry is exploring new ways of telling stories through animation. Many recent productions focus on building rich narrative worlds where characters, environment, and culture works together to bring the story to life. A great example is Iwájú, a futuristic animated series set in Lagos. In projects like this, animation is used to create immersive worlds filled with movement, personality, and details. You see this through things like expressive character animation, cinematic storytelling, detailed environments, world building inspired by culture and everyday life. These elements allow viewers to step into a world where characters grow, face challenges, and explore their surroundings. In this approach, animation becomes a powerful tool for bringing stories and culture to life in dynamic and engaging ways. And when you look at it next to the magic tree, you begin to see two different but equally fascinating possibilities within animation. One leans into visual art and symbolic design, while the other embraces immersive storytelling and character driven worlds. Both show just how flexible and creative animation can be. Both approaches highlight something important. Animation is not limited to one style, one technique, or one way of telling stories. It's a creative spectrum. From broad artistic experimentation to cinematic storytelling, animation continues to expand what visual storytelling can be. And sometimes looking at older works like The Magic Tree helps us appreciate just how many possibilities the medium really has. The Magic Tree reminds us that animation doesn't have to follow just one pattern. Sometimes it's about movement and cinematic storytelling, and other times it's about design, textures, and visual expression. And exploring these different possibilities is exactly what makes animation such a fascinating art form.